Hello YouTube. Hope everybody's doing well today. I do want to remind you to be sure to enter for that Jace Case giveaway I'm doing on June 5th. But today's video, let me ask you, if someone would have told you what was going to happen before it happened in 2020 with, the thing that came from China and caused such a problem here, would you have done anything or would you have just dismissed it? Well, here it is, an election year, and we have H5N1, and I'm going to put an article in the description below that you need to read from the American Association of Medical Colleges. They've got some concerns about this one, and I don't know why it's not being more widely spoke about. It looks like they would, it would be more out there. We do know now it has spread from cows to humans 2 times in the United States. Very mild symptoms. I'm not trying to blow this up into anything bigger than it is. There, I think, has been 453 cases worldwide where it has spread, and 50% of those folks succumb to it. Our administration is tinkering with the idea of giving the World Health Organization, total control over any outbreak protocols within the United States. So, they have found trace fragments of this in our milk, but the pasteurization process has killed the virus, but there's still fragments of it. They're worried that by the time it became where 10 or 15 people became infected, that we could already have a huge outbreak. So if you're not prepping, you really need to be. We've got that going on, and they're not talking about it much. People are talking about it. It's bubbling on the outskirts. Nobody's really paying attention to it. Kind of like we didn't pay that much attention to what was going on last time until it got here, and then it went nuts. Now, you've also got all of these Palestinian protesters around the country shouting that, they're with Hamas and different things, which is concerning. So we've got that. We've got this H5N1 deal. The WHO getting total control over the protocols in the United States should there become a pandemic. We've got inflation. The stock market did really good today. Broke 40,000. We need to be paying attention and seeing what's going on. Our borders are wide open. I'd like to ask you a simple question. How come they have been over 25,000 illegal Chinese come in our borders? What is up with that? Your border's wide open. I mean, that's a given. Who else is coming across? It looks to me like we are setting the precedent for a very, very volatile year. You've got the lawfare going on with political opposition, which is something you see in third world countries, honestly. And it doesn't matter whose side you're on here, it's wrong. If you're a Republican doing it to Democrats, wrong. Democrat doing it Republican, wrong. Independent, the list goes on. You see where I'm going with this. This is stuff you only see in Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, things like that. I mean, they just off their enemies and their political opposition, and I'm worried that we're heading in a dangerous path. As preppers, we like to stay out of the limelight. We like to take care of ourselves, be ready at all times, keep our head low, go about our business. We're not bothering anybody. But if you're not prepping up now, you really need to consider it. Inflation is going to make it really hard for you to do that now. But you can still get out there and try to take care of some of your needs for your family. Food and water first is a must. You have to have those two. Everything else can come after that. In my book, it's food, water, medication, and then from there, you go your own way. It can be power, it can be defense, it can be, you know, anything like that. That's totally up to you as a prepper. You have to make that decision for you and your family, you and your needs, you and your location. That is going to be your journey. Nobody can tell you how to do your journey. It's totally based on what you're comfortable with and what your needs are going to be. These are some things, guys, I really believe we need to be looking at, we need to be paying attention to. I'm not saying be fearful of them. I'm saying put them on your radar. Pay attention to them. Do your own research. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody else on YouTube. If somebody on YouTube tells you something, do your own research. 99.9% of the channels out there are good, informative channels. They got good information. But trust and verify, like Ronald Reagan used to say. Trust but verify. Do your own research. It does seem like some stuff is creeping up, and they're putting out just enough to say, oh, we told you about that. That was in the news. You didn't pick up on that? What if they come out with a disease that is a 40% mortality rate, 50% mortality rate? Do you know what that would do to the country? Now, even if it does not mutate, and they're worried about this mutation in this article, they're very concerned about it mutating into humans. Even if it does not mutate into humans, what if it gets where it can mutate into pigs? We already know it can get to chickens. We've already seen and heard about the culling of chickens with the avian bird flu. Farms lost all of their chickens. What if they start doing that with cows? What if it gets into your pork production? Then what? Our food supply starts getting hit. And it's not going to take many people in the federal government to beef that up and get enough people concerned about it that the WHO would step in and say, okay, we have to take action. We know what's good for you. We know what's best for you. We're going to get rid of the pork industry. We're going to get rid of the chickens. We're going to get rid of the cows. I mean, obviously, they're not going to be able to do away with it, but they can put a hurt on it. Meat is already going expensive. But you can see where this could go. If they can convince just a few government officials, then they have the power to make the decisions, to make your life miserable and control you. They know who controls the food, controls the people. They can put dairy farmers out of business, milk producers out of business. It wouldn't be that hard. All they got to do is come up and say that this new variant is dangerous to people, so therefore we have to start culling cattle. We have to start culling, your pigs. I don't know. Maybe it's just a far-fetched idea. But it is something I'm looking into. Something I'm staying on top of. And I suggest you do that too. And I also suggest you be prepping, getting some meat, learning to can it, get some chickens, raise your own flock in your backyard. Do your research first. Don't run out and be stupid. Just buy a bunch of stuff you don't know about. Do your research. Try to become more self-sustainable. Grow a garden like this one. Grow a bigger garden if you can. Find out what works for you and your family. But guys, at least be doing something. Like I said before, what if somebody would have gave you a 6-month heads up before the last event? What would you have done? Sit back and think about that. What kind of preparations would you have took if you knew, had a crystal ball, and you knew that it was going to be as bad as it was? What would you have took stock of? What would you have stocked up on? What would you have done to ensure the safety of your family? What kind of extended plans would you have made? I'm not saying this event is going to be anything, or even if it will be an event, but I'm taking it for its face value. I'm paying attention to it. I'm listening to what the scientists are saying. Not to say they're correct, but if they can get enough people believing it, that's all it's going to take, guys. So anyway, I do hope you're prepping. I do hope you're stocking up. It looks like this is going to be a rough year. I've said it before. I've also told you we're stepping up our preps this year. We're trying to get ready for what looks like is, you know, it's going to be a crazy election. You've got some people saying that they even have, you know, people training up in the hills. I don't believe that for a minute. Just trying to stir up a lot of fear, trying to stir up a lot of anxiety, trying to get people to vote a certain way based on fear. Don't be that, guys. Don't do that. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tad, and we will talk about it. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. I do appreciate it.